All right, welcome to another edition of Interruptions. My guest today, you guys may not know this, but my guest today is also a singer as well as a comedian and funny man. You've seen him on BET Comic View. You've seen this man everywhere. You've heard him on the Tom Joyner Morning Show. My friend, my guest today, Mr. J. Jammin Lamont. How you doing, sir?
Yes, how you doing, brother Otis? You mixed it around. You mixed it around. You said J Jam and Lamont, but Jam and J Lamont, but it's all right. I
No,
love
no,
it.
no, no. We we gonna do it like your mama do. You know, your mama put your first name first, then
Right,
put your nickname in there.
right, right. And sometimes my mom will forget my name and call me something else, but I can't say it on here. It's like, get on over here.
You can say it on air. We not
uh,
we not.
but I but I better not. She may be looking down, saying, "Say what you say?"
Oh yeah, nah.
Yeah,
I don't want. Listen, I don't want her to call you home right now.
yeah. No, we don't want to do that. But
They,
I'm glad to be on here, man. I'm glad you brought me on.
I appreciate it, man. I
Yeah.
followed your work for a while. I enjoy what you do. Your unique comedian styles. I love it. I love your
Okay.
your vocals were just within your comedy. So
Oh,
thank
I
you for
appreciate it.
blessing me with your presence.
Thank you, man.
My first question for you is, how did you get into entertainment? Period.
Wow, that's a long story, but to give you a condensed version,
All right.
it actually started. I mean, I think when I was real young. I mean, being a kid growing up, I was always fascinated with music. Music is my background. I listened to
Okay.
a lot of music through my parents because my mother was a musician.
Okay.
I was raised in the church, was singing in the church. My mother played for our church choir. So
All
I guess you
right.
could say that's kind of where it started from. But I kind of said to myself at that time, you know what? I might want to do something like this as a profession, you know.
Got you.
And I used to tell my mom that. So throughout when I might have been when I was in junior high school and high school, there were some talent shows that were going on. And at first, really, man, it wasn't really much you could do to get me on stage. I was kind of bashful in a way.
Right.
But it wasn't until a couple of friends of mine that grew up in the same neighborhood that I grew up, just had this talent that I didn't know about. Had one guy played guitar, another guy played bass, and they
Okay.
decided to put a group together. And so they said, Jay, we need you to sing, man. They got this talent show going to be that's going to be happening at school. So why don't you come on sing for us, man? Because they didn't sing, they just played, you
Okay.
know. And I'm like, man, I didn't know you all played. I'm like sitting here shocked. I said, we got something here, and that's pretty much where it started. And I never could I have imagined going up on stage,
Right.
sing, and all the girls are screaming at me. And even think about that. Oldest girls that you were trying to holler at the time, they didn't
Yeah.
give you the time of the day. Now they looking at you like this. Oh my God, girl, oh, I did not know he could do that, man. They saw this like, okay.
Yeah.
Now and then the next day in school, they're looking at you in a different way. They're looking at you up and down, down the
Yeah.
hall. So it was unbelievable because I didn't think that was going to happen, and it was just unremarkable. And I think many of us, even the other guys, were saying, "Man, we could really do this as a profession." And of course, everybody went their separate ways.
Right.
I went to college, and I said, you know what? I think I know what I want to do. I want to do this. And but even through college, I was a radio DJ. I worked in radio for like
Yeah.
7 or 8 years,
Yeah.
and so that was my major in college. I studied broadcasting, but I also
Wow.
studied music. So, the old saying is like you never know who you might run into that
Yep.
where you may wind up having to work with that particular person.
Sure.
So I wound up meeting a couple of guys, man, and we were like from all different parts of the country at our college,
Right.
where I went to school at. And we decided, well, let me back up. The guy that I met he had a little vocal group on campus, and they were
Okay.
looking for another vocalist. And so my name came up from another friend that I met. They said,
Okay.
man, you need to get Jay Lamont. This dude, man, this is dude on campus, man. He's a freshman. He does all these sound effects, because I would always go around my friends and doing all these little sound effects. I
Okay.
would I'd be singing to the girls on campus, trying to see if I can get their attention and stuff like that.
Right.
So, and one thing led to another. I'm in the group. We start doing little talent shows on campus, packing out the auditorium. We were invited to go to other universities and places to perform. And then we decided to start a band, an R&B band in
Okay.
college. And so after I graduated, I got a job working at a radio station. So I was
All
a
right.
full-time DJ, but at the same time, I said, I'm gonna still work with the band.
Man.
So we would be in the studio in the evening recording some demos, trying to get a record deal. I didn't at the time. I wasn't thinking nothing about comedy, even though I was always making people laugh around me,
Okay.
cracking jokes and stuff.
Yeah.
And so we had said, and I think one of the guys in my band said, if this doesn't work out, because we were trying to get a record deal, and some people we met at the time kind of took us for a joke.
Okay.
So the band leader in my group, Keenan, his name is Keenan. I remember he said to me, "You know what, man? You've always had this thing for making people laugh and stuff like that. Why don't you do that for right now while we get this thing together and
Okay.
go out and make people laugh? But he said, but at the same time, put your musical talent within your act. Give them
Got you.
something different so they can see that you can make them laugh and you can sing and do your musical stuff."
Okay.
And I thought about that, and the rest is history. So
Wow.
I'm getting these phone calls. Who would have thought I'd be getting a phone call from Def Jam? Hey, Def Jam wants you to come on.
Wow.
Showtime at the Apollo. So it was crazy, man.
That's well, the Bible says he gave one talent, one, two, five talent. He gave you
Yeah.
more than one.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, and really, Otis, it was crazy because when I was working in radio, which, like I said, was my full time job, I
Right.
actually had three jobs at the same time. I was working three jobs. So I'm
Wow.
on radio, doing part time working, doing side gigs, working with my group because we did a
Right.
couple of shows, so I made a little money off of that. And then also when I first got into comedy, I was invited to go to a comedy club in Houston, Texas. That's where I was working. That was the
Okay.
last place I worked at in radio. And the gentleman that opened up this comedy club, his name is Rushan McDonald,
Okay.
and came to our station. I never forget that. He came to our radio station to buy some advertising to let the city know, hey, there's a brand new comedy club coming to town. So one of my coworkers, one of our employers said, hey, you need to let our DJ Jay host the show because he's very talented. He can do
Right.
all these little so and so so and so. So here I am in the station freestyling for him.
Okay.
So he said, "Oh, this would be great. So you could come and host the show." So I went down and hosted the show as a representative of the radio station. But it also gave me a chance to kind of open, let my hair down and kind of do a little performance for the audience. And needless to say, some of the folks in the audience were my radio listeners. So
Wow.
it was kind of a double exposure for me.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much how it came about. And then so I remember Rushan said at the time, man, you ever thought about maybe doing comedy full time? I said, yeah, I've thought about it. And I told him as well that I was doing music and everything. He said, well, I think you ought to be doing this right now. And that's pretty much how that happened. So I started doing more of so I was if you will, use the term
Moonlight.
moonlighting. I'm moonlighting as a comedian while still working in radio. So it's like
That's
getting a little check here, a little check there.
never know. You never know your path. You never know
Yeah,
how your path is going to go.
exactly.
What is more difficult? Well, I won't say difficult, more challenging, far as putting down a comedic routine or writing a song out and then making it come to life.
Well, you know what? I think in every aspect has its challenges.
Hmm.
As far as writing comedic material, you know, the thing about doing comedy is that you're expected to get that immediate response from the audience. You
Sure.
know, I'm telling you a joke, or I'm doing some type of material that involves laughter. So
Hmm.
and whatever it is you're writing down, and I can't speak for every other comedian or
Hmm.
performer, but I know for me, I know a lot of things that I do in my act. Of course, the greatest feeling is to get that reaction from the audience. You're hoping,
Okay.
you're hoping and praying that this act will work. I hope that this joke that I'm about to do is going to work. I hope it's
Hmm.
going to be funny for this crowd, and
Got
and it can be challenging. Now, as far as writing songs, because I am a songwriter, you want to put your best in any song or any creation that you do,
hmm
that it will be received well from the public. You
Right.
know. So, and I feel like I've been blessed. I mean, I really can say that I've been blessed as far as doing both, and that it's worked out.
Well, I challenge everybody to go find your song, celebrate. I mean,
Oh
celebration,
yeah.
and I am. I'm telling you, hey everybody, he's bringing that R&B, that smooth R&B from the
Oh
'80s,
man.
early '90s.
Oh bless you, bro.
Once we got in the late 2000s, I don't know what happened.
Well, you know what? Music has changed. That's a whole nother conversation right there about music, especially within R&B and like I said, when I first put that song out, actually I got to give kudos to my producer, my partner, who was also a classmate of mine. He was also in my band
In the
in,
band.
in
Okay.
college. So shout out to Trey Balfour, who actually co-wrote the song with myself, and he also put that track together. Um, we had said it was so funny because I remember calling him a couple of years back, and I said, "Look, man, I know it's been so long since you and I have done some stuff with the band, and and as of right now, he's a big time producer. He's played with everybody from Color Me Bad to
Okay.
Gladys Knight to Michael Bolton.
Wow.
Now he's a producer. So I said to him, I said, look, I think I'm ready to go in the studio and just do my own thing. I said, forget about having. And he was so excited that when I told him that, he said, man, look, that's all you got to do is tell me straight up, and I got some songs for you. He said, really, Jay, and this is my buddy saying,
Okay.
you should have went solo a long time ago, even when things didn't work out with the group. That's what you should have did. And I had to think about that for a while. So I said, you know what, since I'm still doing the comedy thing, but I figured when I get down on my downtime,
Right.
let's go in the studio and just get this going. So once we put that song out, I never expected the feedback that we would get. Many radio programmers heard it. They said, "Oh my God, this is unbelievable." Got to give a shout out to Will Downing. You know who that is?
Yeah, well, I know Will Dunn. I
Yeah.
know who that is.
Will, Will Downing is a great friend of mine. I've had the pleasure and utmost blessing and pleasure to open for him. I've toured with him, and at the
Sure.
end, it was so funny. He and I had a conversation backstage at one of his shows, and he said, "Dude, I know you can sing." He says, "I know you can sing." So I leaned over to him. I said, "I got something for you." I said, "I got a little track. I want you to hear it." And I played it for him in the dressing room. He was like, he just looked at me. He said, "This is you?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Man, email that to me." And at the time, he told me he has a radio show that he does weekly called The Wind Down. So if anybody wants to check that show out, yeah. So he put my song in his rotation, and it got so much feedback. And then all of a sudden, my song was blown up over in England, all over the UK.
Wow.
So I said, okay, I think we got something. So I called my producer Trey called me and said, man, did you hear? I said, yes. He said, man, no, no. He said, no, no, no. He said, you didn't hear that your song is in the top 30 R&B countdown over in the UK.
Wow.
I said, get out of here. He said, man, we got it. We got something now. We're ready. So let's start writing. So yeah, but yeah,
Well,
if anybody wants to get that song, it's on all streaming outlets, iTunes, Spotify, every all the outlets.
well, when I put this out, I'm gonna put the link to one of the channels on the YouTube for the song, and
Okay.
so people can just click on the link and hear the song because
Yeah.
it blessed me. It
I
blessed
appreciate
me.
that, man. Thank you, Otis. At first I said I know he didn't just write that down. No, and I could hear a voice said to me, "No, no, Jay, I think he's sincere. He is telling you the truth." So I told that voice, I said, "Don't lie to me because I don't know Otis. I don't know him, but I feel like I know him." No, but I appreciate
Man,
that,
we
man.
go, hey, we go way back since 3 hours ago.
It's been a long time, but
Long time,
ain't
long
seen,
time.
ain't seen, ain't I just ain't seen you since last hour. Ain't seen you since last hour. How the family doing? How the family? No,
Everybody's doing all right. Everybody's doing all right.
Lord have mercy.
Let me see if you could do this for me. I'm gonna go in and out off script here. Let me see if you could. What would it be if
Uh-oh.
Don Cornelius
Oh boy.
introduced Jesus Christ?
Oh my Lord. No, you did.
Give it to me.
What would Don sound like? Don, I can see Don. He's preparing. He said, "Let me look at the script right here. Let me see what it says right here." Everybody over there, I want you to see. He's rehearsing. Everybody
Right.
over there, I want dancers to calm down. I'm getting ready to introduce the Savior. All right, gang. And let's welcome aboard right on time for another ride on the big train. He truly is the Savior. He's the Alpha and the Omega. And of course, I'm sure just like myself, I know everyone, when you bow down, you bow to him. Let's get some hands together, gang, for my main man, the Savior, Jesus Christ. I'm so sorry about that. I'm so sorry, Otis. But I fell back and I got back up. He said, "Give it up for Jesus Christ." I'm so
It
sorry.
might be the anointing. It might be the anointing.
The anointing, the anointing. Oh my God. Oh, I'm getting healed, Otis, in his name. Oh, don't poke at me like that, or I will pimp slap you if you do that again. You know what? You just
Oh
gave me an
man.
idea. I may have to use that.
You had to use it.
Put up game for Alpha and Omega, the beginning of the end
Hey,
game. Yeah.
I was gonna say, Doug also had that long mic. That mic was long. He ain't had to really get near you. He just point the
Yeah.
mic over there to
Oh yeah, it was real long. All right, and he would lean to you.
you.
Tell us, give me your name. He'll,
Yeah.
he'll lean over like that. How about the game for Otis? I don't know. So you got me clowning on here. You should have
Oh
done
no, that's what I wanted, man. You brilliant, man. You brilliant. So let me ask you another question. You touched on it a minute ago, but I did have it as one of my questions,
uh,
which is the music today. Um, how do you feel? I mean, far as because I do like hip hop, I like rap,
oh, me too.
but
Yeah,
at the same time, I just feel like there's not a balance of love songs. We like remember
right,
what you said. You would sing because you. I mean, I tell people all the time. I tell my wife this. I said, listen, I didn't go to the club to dance all night. That's not
right,
why I was.
right.
You know.
Yeah.
So what do you feel about? Do you listen to some of the music today, or do you find yourself? Because I do find
Yeah.
yourself listening to more old school than you listen to. As far as R&B is concerned.
Well, you know what? I listen to it all. I think for me, I think like most of us, I
Hmm.
no, there's no doubt I'm going to always love my old school. I got to have my old school.
Right.
Sometimes when I'm in my car, man, I may have some Marvin Gaye playing, Isley Brothers, Frankie Beverly and Mays,
Right.
and see, I'm the kind of guy, Otis, you would want to be in my car. So I have certain days. I have certain days I designate. Like
Okay.
tomorrow's gonna be Funk Day. So
Uh-oh.
when I get in the car, I'm gonna put in some Bootsy, George Clinton, Paul the Funkadelic, Cameo. See, you don't know nothing about that Cameo. Oh, the name is Bootsy, man.
Ooh.
Some
Ooh.
Barcades, Cool in the Gang, Slave,
Ooh.
and then Friday night I have what I call my classic hip hop night. So
Hmm.
so I got my Run DMC, I got Cool Mo D, I got Heavy D and
Yeah.
the Boys. See, that was my era when I
The
was in college.
same here.
You know
Same
what I'm
here.
talking about? Sugar Hill Gang, the Treacherous Three, the Funky Four plus one more. So I grew up on a lot of the New York hip hop.
Yeah.
Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five,
It's
who
five.
actually what my first professional show when I was in college was when I opened for Grandmaster Melly Mel and the Furious Five.
Oh
Can you believe
wow.
that? Nobody knew who I was. They were looking for somebody like an entertaining type of performer or comedian. So
Sure.
I was asked. Shout out to the guy that put me on the show. Actually went to my school as well. He was a young promoter at the time,
Okay.
Jesse Griffin. So it
Jesse
was amazing
Griffin.
to meet them. But yeah, that was I love all that stuff. But now when it comes to today's music, I love a lot of hip hop. I like Jay Z. I love who else? I mean, there's somebody who was that that's out. I love Drake. Everything that Drake puts out, I always
Okay.
embrace Drake.
Okay.
There's a song that he has out now with Chris Brown. You got it, girl. You got. I
Oh
love
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I love that kind
Yeah.
of stuff right there. So I've been kind of
Yeah.
vibing off of that because usually I have to like listen to what's out there now to kind of stay abreast of the music that's happening.
Sure.
So
Sure.
unless I want to utilize it in some of my creativity, my act,
Right.
you know,
Right.
I'll have some stuff. I know this pandemic's got to shut down, but I said this will give me enough time to kind of work on some stuff
Right.
once I get back out on the road. So, but I will say that there's a lot of great R&B that's coming back. I've got to give it to people like Kim. Kim is one of my favorites.
Oh
I
yeah.
love
Oh man. Yeah. Kim
him.
is on point.
I don't know if you've ever seen him live, but he is
No.
phenomenal live. It's almost like listening to the album. It's like listening to the CD if you go to his
Okay.
show. He's matter of fact, he's got a new project out, and I advise anybody to make sure you get it. He's got a
Okay.
new song with Tony Braxton. It is off the
Oh, I
off
love
the hook.
Tony.
Oh,
I
you got
love
to hear
Tony.
this new song. So Kim, like I think you mentioned before we came on, Charlie Wilson. Uh, Charlie Wilson
Oh
is my
man.
homie.
Charlie.
We're both. I'm from Oklahoma, and he's from Oklahoma as well.
Okay.
And I've toured with him, and he and I have had this conversation. So I got to give it to him. He's still doing it. The man is still doing his
Man,
thing. So
child, it's two people that. What you think about this? It's two singers. I always say it's almost like they don't have to warm up or anything.
oh
You
no,
get Gladys Knight and Charlie and say, "Hey, sing." They just go.
oh they go at it, man. And keep in mind they're older than us. They
Right.
they're at a certain age, and I'm like it makes us like okay, we got to really work now. We got to work. And I mean Charlie and even Patti LaBelle. I mean, they don't necessarily have to move. I mean, I know a lot of times they do get their move on whatever, but I mean, you can stand still. They
Yeah,
can
they
stand
can.
still
Yeah.
and just get that microphone and start singing. You still gonna feel it. You
Like
still gonna
Luther.
sing.
Like
Yeah, low.
Luther just
Oh,
stand there. Luther just stand there and just
yeah.
slay you.
Oh man, all you got to do is sit back and watch your girl. Just watch your girl just go off. See that's where you got that fishing rod. Yeah, you reeling her in.
If it's
Say, just look
and,
at Luther, look at Luther. Then I got you. I got you.
and,
You know.
that's back in the day. As you know, we didn't have to say nothing. We just let
Oh
the
no.
song talk. Let the
See,
song talk.
soon as Luther says long ago, then the women. And you're so sweet. See, that's for the female listeners that's watching right now. They be like, "Ooh,
Yeah.
girl, call Otis. Get Otis on the phone right now. Find out. See, that's old school. Find out who that man is right there. I like him. I want
That's
to tell you,
Jay.
give him a little eyes, the brother. Oh yeah, yeah. La, 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 la. And then say Otis. Otis, Otis, yeah.
Man, you got some vocals, man. When the first time when I heard you do when you said you was doing old school
Uh
and
huh.
you did Patti LaBelle, I said, hold on, he went and people didn't understand. He went and got that note. Like when you did Patti LaBelle, I said
But
he went and got the
but
note.
let me tell you something, Otis.
Uh,
Would you believe if I told you that I actually did that for Patti LaBelle? How about that?
wow.
I was on the Tom Joyner cruise.
Okay.
One year I was on there and they asked me to perform. Patti
Okay.
LaBelle just happened to be in the audience. Of course, she saw me, was asking, "Who is that guy up on the stage?"
Okay.
And lo and behold, we're on one of the. I think we're on the top deck. Just got through eating. My manager
Sure.
was walking with me. My manager comes across Patti LaBelle's manager. So they
Okay.
get talking. So my manager's like, "Hey, have you ever, this is my act, my artist right here, Jay Lamont. This
Uh,
brother can imitate anybody. He does all this and that. So he looks at me and says, Jay, do who I'm talking about. He said he didn't mention her name. He said, go ahead and do it. So Patti LaBelle, Patty had just stepped away to go to the restroom. So
uh-huh.
I did that song. I did If Only You Knew for her manager. He said it like, oh my God. Hey, I hit that high note. So he was like, oh my God. He was like, where's Patty? Where's Patty? So she walks over. She says, "Hey, what's going
Okay.
on, Patty? This is my man, so and so, so and so. This is his performer, Jay Lamont." And he was like, "Oh my God, you got to see this." So Patty looks at me. So her manager says, "Just name somebody. He can imitate anybody. Just name somebody." So she puts her hand on the hips and just looks at me. She says, "Do me." And I did. I hit that note for her.
Well, give the people a little patty right quick. Give people a little patty, just
Oh
a
my
little
God!
bit in
I
there.
hope
'Cause
I hope I can hit it. Okay, that's gonna be $5. I'll put that in the jack.
that's why I said a little bit because I was gonna say you ain't getting paid now, so
Yeah.
it's
Oh yeah.
just a little bit.
Hey, only you know how much I do love you. And then, yeah.
Man, man, that's crazy.
And she just looked at me and said, "No, you didn't." She looked at me like, "No, you didn't." Yeah. She
Well,
fell in
you
love
know,
with me
hey,
that night.
hey, now, did you? You said you sung in the church choir, right?
Yes, I did.
Hey,
Oh
well,
yeah.
listen.
My
Hey,
father,
this
my
is
father was
I
a
don't know if
pastor,
you
so I had to sing. My father was a pastor.
I,
So I had
I
to.
I don't know if you would ever if you ever use this in your routine, but have you ever noticed church people when you singing in the choir, it's almost like they threaten you. You know, they'll say, "Sing, Jay," and then
Uh-huh.
somebody say, "You better sing. You
Oh
better
yeah.
sing, Jay."
Oh
Like, is
yeah.
that a threat?
They'll get up like this. They'll get up. Come on, come on, come on. You know, how someone they be holding themselves like this. Come on now.
Yeah. You better sing, Jay.
Oh no, that don't do nothing but get you riled up, get you riled up. It's like, come on now, you can do it now. Come on now. And even in the church, Otis.
Uh,
Oh, I can remember times. I think that's when that bashfulness came out of me
okay.
because in church sometimes you can get a lot of attention in church that you wouldn't expect. So I remember times my father would have to preach somewhere, and then I
Hmm.
would have to sing. I would be like, if it wasn't our choir, I would have to sing a song my mother would play, and there'd
Okay.
be a couple little females sitting on the front pew, just looking right at me, just looking at me, and whatever. And I thought to myself, now I know they wrong because they're trying to sit on the front pew, trying to pull their dress back a little bit, show a little
Right.
leg. Oh, they
Right.
don't. Oh, they've done it in church. Trust me. It
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it ain't just in the concert venues, but it's in the church too. Oh, girl, he sound good, don't he? He's singing for the Lord, but he probably singing to me. You know what I mean? Oh my God. They looking at, they'll go over to my mom. Was that your son singing? Oh,
Is that your boy?
I'm like, Lord, have mercy. Oh, and then my mom be like, yeah, do you know Reverend Jackson's granddaughter? That was her that came over to me. I said, that's her daughter.
Is
You know,
this
oh yeah, it been many, be many times you can meet somebody at church now. That's the place.
Oh, trust me, I know.
Come on, you already know.
I know.
Yes, sir.
What would can you I'm gonna go off of script again. Can you give
Uh-oh.
me what would Prince sound like doing sports? Like if he was a sports commentator.
Oh my Lord. Oh, and I can see. They say, good evening. I'm Marv Albert, along with the one and only the Purple Wonder Prince. We're live right here for live NBA in the bubble. We're here in Orlando, Florida. Prince, that's our Prince. Of course, let everybody know about your favorite team and what you think should happen in tonight's game. I don't know. It's gonna be a hard game. You better shoot the ball, shoot the ball. You better pass.
Oh, not the good song.
That's my good song. Gonna play basketball. Out to the pass. Up. Who's it gonna be? It's gonna be the Lakers. It's gonna be the Rockets. Denver Nuggets, Boston Celtics. Oh, something like that.
Hey, hey, Merv, you probably wouldn't even hear Merv talking anymore. Merv be like, "Come on in, come on in."
I believe we're going to take a timeout right now. We'll have a timeout. We didn't get to see the game, but we'll be back after this. You're watching the NBA live. Oh, yeah, that's fun.
What when you when you look back over your career, from like you were talking about in the band with your friends
Mhm.
and radio and where you are now. I know we're in a pandemic, but just
Right.
leading up to where you are now, what would you say? How did you get here?
How did I get here? You mean as far as the pandemic right now? You mean?
No. Far as what helped move you along to your career to where you are now. The from the from the
Oh,
from the comics to the music. What would you say? How did you get
oh,
here?
man, you know what? Just not giving up, just staying consistent. It's been many times I wanted to get out of this because there's a whole lot I could say about what I had to deal with as
Hmm.
far as getting into this game, specifically the comedic side.
Hmm.
Uh, you'd be surprised how much I've dealt with so much controversy, even in doing comedy. You got some people that did not want you to be on the show with them. I had to deal with a lot of animosity, a lot of jealousy and everything.
Gotcha.
And it took a lot of friends to say, "Hey, man, you've got something, Jay. Don't worry about who might not like what you do or whatever. Maybe they wish they could be you. That's why they don't like you." But I think outside of that, just staying consistent, not giving up, just pressing on, keeping at it. Because I love what I do. I think anybody who tells you like what I catch, you'll be able to stage, just make
Your sound went out.
lot.
There you
And
go.
I enjoy it. And it's funny when this pandemic really hit, it shut us all down. Those of us who are entertainers were not able to work.
Right.
Thankfully, here we, like what we're doing right now, to have this
Right.
type of technology where we can do stuff now virtual, go online. Just think if we didn't have this at all, we'd really be stuck.
Oh
We
man,
wouldn't.
it be yeah,
So
yeah.
so basically, like what I've been doing, I've been going online. Like most people, just trying to create. Because a couple of times there's been times I would sit at home and I'm like, okay, what could I do to try to make ends meet? Because when your money goes real short, your money kind of goes down a little bit slow.
Right.
You got to figure out how can I stay abreast? How can I keep moving? So lately, what I've been doing is going on my social media pages and just performing. I would talk to my followers, whoever was on there, and it got to the point where people were just so excited to see me online. They would start asking me questions about this and that. And
Hmm.
if they wanted to send a donation, they would tip us, and you'll find a lot of entertainers doing that, comedians and musicians. They'll maybe do a performance, put all the information on the screen, Cash App, PayPal, and also merchandise. I thank God I have merchandise that I'm still selling on my website.
Oh, okay.
I've had people go on my website, order my DVD. I'm working on a t-shirt line. I'm trying to get some t-shirts made pretty soon that I'll be selling online as well. But I'm just keeping on, man. Just doing what I'm doing right now. I'm just writing. I'm writing some songs right now for my next album
Okay.
that I'm ready to put out. So just kind of taking each day as we go.
My final question for you is, well, actually, I got
Oh,
two. I'm
you
sorry.
know me. You say I'm gonna get him out of here because I'm sick of it. I ain't got time.
what what is the most misconception of the entertainment business? You always hear people want to get in. They think they are just as funny or funnier than you. People that's coming up, or they want to sing. What
Mhm.
what is the most misconception of the business that's out that they don't understand about being in the entertainment business?
Woo, it's a business. It's a business. I mean, I think about, I don't know if was it James Brown or Quincy Jones or somebody said years ago that when it comes to show business, it's it's 20% show, 80% business.
Business.
And and I hate to say this, but I'm going to say it. This business, don't get it twisted. Don't think this business is all what it's hyped up to be.
Gotcha.
Like I said, I love what I do. You have to have a passion for doing what you do, but also understand the business side of it. We only make what we can make in this game, folks. It's like a paycheck to paycheck. At times, I've had to explain to some of my friends that we do shows. Whatever we get paid on that show, hey, whatever we negotiate.
Uh-huh.
Now, it's nothing like when you have a regular job where you're on paid salary.
Right.
If you want to take some days off and go on vacation, if you get
Mhm.
sick, you still got a paycheck.
Right.
In entertainment, you better hope and pray you don't get sick. If you get sick, you might as well just do your show sick. And I'm not ashamed to tell. There's been times. I remember one time I had to do a show with a migraine headache. I had a headache so bad, man, it was killing me. And trust me, I really just wanted to go home and go to bed, but I had to do this show because if I had canceled that show, so is the money. The money's canceled. They're not just gonna say, "Hey, man, don't worry about it. Don't worry about the show. Here's your money. Go ahead and lay down." No, no. So,
So it's kind of like what Ike said to Tina. Somebody we'll go out there.
oh,
We don't eat.
I told straight, you better get up out this bed. I don't care about your headache. No, look, I got these songs. We got to get up there and sing,
We,
sing,
we
sing these
got to
songs.
get.
Oh,
So it is like that.
it's funny when you laugh at that scene, but realistically, I can
That's
understand
true.
why Ike said that. I know. If you felt bad for Tina, but the thing is, he was nervous because he knew that if they had to cancel those shows, especially in those days, you're not getting one dime of your money. You know.
Right.
And so like even young comedians who come up to me, I tell them straight up, just focus on what you want, what you're trying to do. Don't take this for granted. Take it seriously if you want to do this, but understand the business side. I always tell most people, get a manager. If you get somebody that you trust, to trust,
Right.
who's going to help you with your career, who's going to, control, whoever controls your money, make sure somebody that you know real well that you trust. But like I said, you know, you got to take it for what it is. But this is what we do, and this is what we enjoy.
My last question, my final question is
See,
kind
I
of the
knew you were going to
same.
pick up the set. Said my final question.
Now the final. What would you want people to know about Jay Lamont? Like, what's the misconception about you that people don't understand who Jay Lamont is?
Hmm, wow. You know what's so funny? A lot of people who know me or have known me for years think that all I do is I sound effects. I get that a lot. Even when I was out of date, I, are you like this all the time? And and sometimes I'll respond by saying yes because I like to lie. I say, are you like the people all the time? So I'm like,
Hold up, say that again. Your mic went out.
oh, did it go out? Oh, okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
I
So
can
no,
hear
I
you
was
now.
just okay. What I was saying was is that people always think that I'm silly all the time, and so whenever they
Mm,
ask me, "Are you like this all the time?" I'm like, "No." I said, I have my serious times. When I want
right.
to cry, if I have a downtime, I have a downtime. If there are times I'll cry, there are times I wished I had somebody I could lean on when I go through my different times and whatever. But I'm just a regular person like everybody else. You know, I like to have fun. I like to have fun. I think the worst thing to be always is being around somebody that's serious. But being around someone that's nothing nice to say, it's always something that you nag, just rub off. I just can't do it. sometimes I have fun just myself. Jay
No,
Lamont
you
is
went out. There
someone.
you go.
Oh, Jay Lamont is somebody who just enjoys life. He takes each day like like the last. I'm, I'm, I'm all professional. Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I want to thank you for coming on the show, man, and blessing us with your presence and your time. I want to have you back on again. Have
Have
you
me
and
back.
JJ Williamson, have both y'all on
Oh,
there.
that's my
Just
man right there. I appreciate those few laughs. I appreciate those few laughs. And I want to let everybody know out there.
so
I got to remember, if I can, I want to let folks know that the pandemic still continues. So people, if you got a mask somewhere, put a mask on. There's some folks out there that's ugly that need a mask too. So I know, I know I didn't have to say that, Otis. I didn't need to say that because God don't like ugly. So if you see somebody ugly, give them a mask.
mask,
If somebody's breath smells, give them a mask because
please get them on mask.
it's funny how they want to tell you to practice social distancing. You don't have to tell me twice. I know what social distancing means. I've been doing it for a long time. There's a lot of people that I don't want to be so close to. You ever sat in church and sat next to somebody, you pastor say, you can't do that now. I didn't want to touch it even before the pandemic hit. I didn't want to touch it. Anybody that goes to the bathroom, see,
Uh,
now they tell everybody to wash their hands.
well, the thing is, we need to stop practicing social distance and do social distance. Stop
Exactly.
practicing.
Exactly. Come
Stop
on, man.
practicing.
See, just like this, this is how you do
So,
it. This is how you do it, Otis.
the Don Canary.
See, I'm going distance. That's why I'm going distant right there, Otis. I'm getting too close. I'm getting close, but I'm back. I'm distant distance.
You back it up. Well, I appreciate you, man, coming on. I want you to make sure you stay safe out there, man, and stay
Thank you.
blessed. And I'm gonna reach out to you again, see if we can set that up with myself, you, and JJ.
Oh man, please do, man. And if you talk to him before we get on, tell him I say hello, man. I'm looking forward to seeing him and talking to him.
All right, I appreciate it.
All right,
Peace.
Otis. Thank you, man.